Hey guys, so I haven't been feeling so well over the past couple of days, couldn't post a video on the Avengers Endgame clip, but I'm okay right now and I think I could start talking about that because there's a lot to break down, a lot to talk about as well. But okay though, let's break down this scene bit by bit.
He used the stones again.
Hey, we'd be going in short-handed, you know?
Look, he's still got the stones, so...
So let's get him. Use them to bring everyone back.
Alright, so to get started, there are so many things on this clip that do prove that we're talking the first hour of the movie. More or less the first 20 minutes actually. On this very first part of the clip, we've got Romanov's hair as evidence, because from all the trailers and the teasers, we do know that she goes through 3 phases with the hair. There's the short blonde Infinity War signature hair, there's the long blonde reuniting with Clint Barton hair, and there's of course the red hair with yellow endings. You know, her sitting at the desk talking to Steve Rogers, smiling at the end of that scene. That's what I'm talking about here. Okay, it takes around 9 months to a year to go from 1 to 2 to 3, depending on the rate of hair growth, but that's just a rough average. Now, I'm going to be talking the rest of the evidence when it comes to the time frame of this scene and the overall events of the movie, but if we're talking the Infinity War style hair at the very beginning of this clip, we're still talking the very beginning of the movie. But that is just one thing out of the way. The second thing happens to be the fact that she states that he used the stones again. First of all, she's not talking about him using a single stone separately, she's saying he used the stones again, so that means that Thanos must have snapped his fingers again. That means that the population of the entire universe has been snapped into half again, the population of Earth in specific has been snapped into half once again, so from 7 billion to 3.5 billion, that's pretty much the first snap, and from 3.5 billion to 1.75 billion, that's the second snap. But is she really stating that Thanos snapped his fingers again? Well, the heart of the matter is she is not, because this is a conversation that started way before this clip. This clip is just the continuation of the conversation, this clip is just half of the conversation, and we only hear one half of it. And what do we know out of this half? We know that Rhodey and Banner are kind of skeptical as to the outcomes or possible outcomes of trying to face off with Thanos once again. We've got Banner talking about going in short-handed, and we've got Rhodey talking about Thanos still having the stones. Both statements are hinting towards the idea that if we face off with this guy once again, it's almost guaranteed we are gonna be screwed. So if this is a continuation of a conversation, and if it seems that Natasha has a certain concern of this happening, but not enough concern showing on her face, as in her facial expressions, like this actually happened, that kind of concern, I'd say over here that she's basically posing a what-if question. Like, okay, the argument has been going on for a while, like Team Natasha and Cap are going, we should do this, and Team Banner and Rhodey are going, oh, we're gonna be screwed if we do it. Now, I'm assuming over here there was a what if, there was a pause for dramatic effect, got closer to that globe where they're basically monitoring all the casualties worldwide, and then continued, he used the stones again. But here's another thing though about the assumption that Natasha makes over here that he might use the stones again, which is basically all about the fact that Tony is not back. Okay, first of all, let's remember that Tony Stark knows the entire story of Titan, he knows it from none other than Thanos himself. He knows the entire motivation of Thanos. Whether he agrees with it or not, he does know what it is. So if he were there, if he made it back, he would have told him already, this guy's not planning to snap his fingers again. It was just the one time, and there's gonna be no seconds and no thirds, just the one time. So yeah, by this time in the events of the movie, Tony were to be back. That statement that Natasha just made would make no sense. But moving on though to the response of Bruce Banner, you know, talking about being short-handed, I don't think he's talking about the Avengers that they are missing, or just the Avengers that they are missing, but he's also talking about himself. He's missing his own Avenger, he's missing the Hulk. At this point in time in the events of the movie, and as I mentioned earlier, I believe this is way too early in the events of the movie, I believe that Bruce Banner is going to be still unable to transform into the Hulk. Now, I really love the next bit, you know, the fact that Rhodey states he still got the stones, you know, which is basically using the same argument that Natasha used in order to argue against her argument. She was using the fact that he still got the stones as a reason to go after him, like we need to stop him before he snaps his fingers again, and he's using the very same fact, the fact that he's got the stones, in order to make it clear that it's a no-go, that there has been no change since the last time they faced off with him that would allow them an upper hand, an advantage. But here comes though one or two bits on this clip that's gonna piss a lot of people off. The first bit is basically Carol Danvers going, let's go get them from him and bring everyone back. I am not sure how she understands the nature of the Infinity Stones personally. I'm assuming that she is assuming that out of the emotional impact of losing one or more people, Nick Fury being the first and one of the Rambos or both of them, she's basically hanging to straws. She's basically making an emotional decision. Now, I've already read opinions as well about Captain Marvel, you know, possibly leading the team over here and that being a bad thing, a horrible thing for the movie, like it diminishes the role of the rest of the team. But nonetheless, I think this part is about a reality check. I think this part is about a wake-up call. I think this part is about an ass-whooping coming Carol Danvers' way.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that.
Even if there's a small chance that we can undo this, I mean, we owe it to everyone who's not in this room to try.
Alright, so in this second chunk of the clip, there are 2 points that I want to make. The first one is that Steve Rogers is making emotional decisions based on the loss, and the second one is all about Natasha Romanoff's statement. I mean, she states, we owe it to everyone that is not in this room. Now, first and foremost, she's not talking about Rocket over here, because Rocket is obviously not in this room. She's not talking about Nebula, because she doesn't know Nebula. But she's rather talking about the rest of the Avengers, the people that she knows. She's talking about Scott Lang, she's talking about Peter Parker, possibly Peter Parker. She's talking about Tony Stark, and she's probably as well talking about Clint Barton. But let us watch more though.
If we do this, how do we know it's gonna end any differently than it did before?
Because before you didn't have me.
Hey, new girl. Everybody in this room is about that superhero life. And if you don't mind my asking, where the hell have you been all this time?
There are a lot of other planets in the universe. And unfortunately, they didn't have you guys.
Okay, so now we've got the second part of this scene or clip that's gonna piss a lot of people off when it comes to Carol Danvers. But the truth is, once again, I do think this is all about the ass whooping. Think about it this way. This is at the beginning of the movie. This is gonna be attempt number 1. This is basically all the stuff that led up to that scene on the most recent trailer that we watched, where 6 of them, excluding the Hulk and plus Rocket, are basically on board of a ship and heading somewhere. And once again, what is the common factor between these 2 scenes? The common factor is there is no Clint Barton, there is no Ant-Man, there is no Tony Stark, and there's no Nebula. But on this part of the clip as well, there are 2 other things. One proves that this is at the beginning of the movie, she's still being referred to as New Girl. And 2, while she might seem arrogant enough to assume that she could replace all the fallen Avengers and then a little bit more in order to defeat Thanos, she does still make it clear that she believes that Earth has been lucky to have these Avengers, these people, protecting this planet, while other planets do not really have that luxury. But another possibility over here is she might be saying this not out of arrogance or anything, but rather out of the fact that she's emotional, she wants to do this anyway, she wants to give it a shot, and that is basically her only argument at this moment. That is her final argument. I'm too powerful, just try to use me, try to utilize me, and let us try to take Thanos down this time. But let us though watch the final bit of this clip.
I like this one. Let's go get this son of a bitch.
Alright guys, so we've got the part with Thor from a previous trailer. I like this one. That's still a funny moment in my opinion. I do love how such a scene could be so serious, yet you could get this slightly funny, mildly funny moment that would kind of lighten the mood. But more importantly though, after this moment on this clip, we do get the let's go get the son of a bitch. So basically a decision has been made. All of that, as I mentioned before, does lead on that scene from the most recent trailer. You know, all of them, 6 of them, plus the Hulk, plus Rocket, on that ship, heading somewhere. That somewhere probably being either Titan or Titan 2.0. They are heading for Thanos, and they're gonna try to take him down, and they're gonna fail, and that's gonna be attempt number 1. And then there's going to be attempt number 2, attempt number 3, there's going to be the Quantum Realm, there's going to be everything else. The return of all of these missing people is going to have them try different things until they succeeded one of them. On another note, the fact that Steve Rogers made the decision over here, the fact that Tony Stark was not consulted, means that Tony Stark is still missing. To them, he's still missing, and neither him nor Nebula made it back. But that being said though, my work here is done, so you can let me know in the comments what you thought of this clip. You can let me know as well if you did like this video by dropping it a much appreciated like, subscribing to this channel, and enabling notifications for my future videos, community posts, and live streams. But until the next time that you tune in for another one of my videos, Avengers Endgame or otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in to this one, and have a great day.